you are live on your day off.
I'm back leaving work on Monday.
We had a little last minute adjustment here on our whole day, our whole week, how it's going to start, how this podcast is going to go. A little freestyle, which we love the most. But last Monday at this time, we were already on the road, probably I think exactly this time, except we were like moving through Camp Pendleton, headed to Huntington Beach for the Fuck Cancer golf tournament. If you guys didn't catch that last episode 9, that was a fun one. It was kind of our carpool karaoke theme, and as much as we didn't know how it was going to go, we seemed to a lot of good feedback on that one this week. So
yeah, the footage was just a lot better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, and we actually were probably going to skip a week because this isn't necessarily as much as we want to try and hit every week. It's not necessarily something we're going to be able to do every week, but our boy Turhan that was on a couple episodes ago over the weekend, you cannot get tee times if you are a golfer, probably anywhere, but I know for sure in Southern California, you do not decide to play golf on Friday or Saturday evening and get a morning tee time or a time for the next day unless it's at about 6:30 p.m. where you can get in one hole.
Or 6:30 a.m.
Yes, or 6:30 a.m.
You
when
have one or two.
Freezing cold.
Yeah.
So the golf over the weekend did not happen, and Turhan said, what about Monday, Tuesday? And I said, absolutely not. I got way too much going on, not going to happen. Then as the week developed or weekend developed, I was like, you know what? I'm an early guy. I'm going to get my work done. And guess what? I liked that podcast vibe. Instead of doing the podcast at night, let's do it in the morning.
Yeah.
Get in a little quick golf round at Goat Hill.
Goat Hill. We've been wanting to play there. I've been wanting to play there. So
it is a legendary course for those. Everyone around here that's a golfer knows about it. I don't know if you've ever played it. This is Turhan's first time ever. He's never been there, hasn't seen it. Just knows the legendary stories you hear about it. And doesn't matter the level of golfer you are, this course is just like the heritage and the story behind it. And it is tricky, boy, I'll tell you that.
It looks tricky. I played their disc golf there, so I've been on the trek.
It's not a confidence builder, so don't go there for that, thinking it's a short course. It is not easy.
It's got that like Mount Woodson vibe, you think?
Yes.
Like
it's yes, very just up and again, Goat Hill obviously kind of explains what we're dealing with. Got a lot of elevation change, and I'll tell you what you don't do. Don't ever think because it's short and close to the ocean and beautiful that I'm going to get in some exercise today. Me and our boy Paul Ritchie, who is a professional athlete his whole life up to this day, and it was the worst decision we ever made, trying to walk around with push carts.
Thank you.
And I got some footage of Paul trying to climb out of hills with a push cart, and we were miserable. We didn't even want to talk to each other. So yeah, definitely get the cart, but
I don't walk unless I always said I don't walk unless I'm getting paid.
Yes.
I will not walk. Of course, made that mistake after COVID.
I'll tell you what, I've done the carts that you can rent because they're expensive to own, but the carts that you can rent that's like a little R2D2.
Oh yeah.
Throw your bag in there. It still has like a little GPS screen. Put your drinks in there, little coolers, and you just clip a thing to your belt, and it follows you like a GPS everywhere you go. So you can still get in the walk, which is actually fun if you're really into golf in any way. It's actually good for you because it gives you a moment to kind of like reset and think about things between shots as you're walking. So I've actually done that a couple times and enjoy that a lot, but I'm also going to pick a little more different terrain that's a little flatter. When I do something like that, it is not going to be Goat Hill. Promise you that. Goat Hill, you better make sure that your ball is going to be in the fairway every time and on the green every time, or don't do it.
Yeah, or it's an automatic. I was watching the video, and the professor's like, it's an automatic 4 quadruple over. Yeah. If you get to this front side and don't get over. Oh, sweet. I'm going to be there all day, early and often. Lots of snowmen, hopefully not for me today, but super excited. The weather versus last week. This is the weather the premium Mitchell was talking about out here.
This is what we signed up for.
So it's going to be in the low 70s, beautiful, crispy day, clean. It looks like even the coast should be pretty cleared out.
Yeah, it's nice.
So excited about that.
Yeah.
Get back out and golf.
I was thinking this morning. I get up pretty early. Again, I wanted to get up early and get in a little bit of a work day before this gets started. Get some things handled. So I also tend to grab my coffee and kind of not just jump on my phone first thing. That's hard to do for all of us. You want to just grab it and start flipping through Instagram and memes. But I will do that after a little bit. But I like to do it to try and find those motivational things that kind of get you going, especially on a Monday. Can be challenging sometimes, and I think that also is something that's driven by what your career is. what your path is and what you do, that I know for a long time I lost that for a while, and I'm getting it back, is the excitement of a Monday. You know, we all want those weekends to connect with friends and family and recharge, and you'll still work a lot of weekends. You work weekends every weekend, so it's a little different for you. Your Mondays and Tuesdays are your
Saturday,
weekends, but
yeah.
you know, typically everybody looks at that, you know, oh, Monday, and that's, you know, every meme is about how crappy Mondays are. But I think finding that motivational Monday because you do something you love, as you spoke about before, is everything in what drives you back to, at our age especially, where are you in life that you're finding that thing that makes you want to get up early on a Monday and get the week going, because you have so many exciting things that it's like, I already know I don't have enough time to get all this in before the weekend because I got so much stuff to do, but I'm excited that I have to do it, not pissed that I got to get in the car, commute, go somewhere I don't like, work for somebody at some place I don't want to do, making them a living, all those different things in different scenarios that unfortunately we don't all have the ability to choose that path. But we've talked about that. If you can, and through time, and especially my kids and the younger kids that work for you, we try and give them and make them understand that freedom and ability to drive yourself and empower yourself to have the freedom and do what you love. And if you can do that over time, that will build. You will do like me. You will learn the hard way a lot of times, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Either way, with everything that I just went through, that we've spoke about on the podcast, obviously in getting to where I was with Trust Me was lots of trial and error and success and failure and all these mountains that you climb to get to that point. But every time you do it, you learn a ton. So for me, one of the things I found this morning that I love, and I'll turn a lot of these into screensavers on my phone just so they're in my face over and over and over, because it's just like anything. It's like you got to just grind it into yourself. You got to say it over and over and over and get yourself in a place to motivate, to be inspired, whatever it is. But one of them was, you can't wait until life isn't hard anymore to be happy.
You'll be chasing that probably forever, you know?
And you talked about this too. You got a guy that was like a mentor that got all the money in the world, and I know some people like this, and a good friend of my brother's is like this, and I know the guy, and he has been a successful businessman for years and years, and just an amazing guy, amazing family. But his complaint always, and it seems funny because my brother's like, really, you're going to complain about how you have too much money and too many homes to deal with and too much this and too much that? Like, let's trade places.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah.
But I get it, because to your point, you're always chasing that. Like, are you ever happy enough? The grass is always greener, but it also goes back to time. So again, the time part is kind of what these people are saying too. You're always chasing it. You get too successful. You get too many companies. You're doing too many things, and you're not finding that time to really enjoy it. And I think once you get to that point of maybe having everything or too much at your level that you feel that, you want to kind of unload that and just get back to the simplicity of life and family and what's important and all those things. So for me, I know that because, like, with what I just went through specifically, which I think so many people do, whatever might be bringing you down, and just have a microscope on a Monday morning, like, shit, here we go again, Groundhog Day, back to my bullshit, is like, don't wait till life isn't hard anymore to be happy. So even the reason I talk about this is, even with what I just recently went through in hardships and times for me and my wife and my family, was always trying to find every day, what's that thing that can keep me going through this, keep me positive, keep me optimistic, keep me motivated, and get me through a path to where I'm not bringing my wife down. We're not bringing our family. It's really hard to do. And it's not saying that we achieved that very well necessarily, but if you're not trying to do that and pushing yourself to do that, it's really hard to just fall off the cliff and be done and feel sorry for yourself.
Yeah. Make
excuses. All those types of things, which is specifically why I felt it was so important to do the episode 7 a couple weeks ago, talking about Trust Me Vodka, because to me, it's not about, hey, poor me, feel bad for me, I'm pointing fingers at people did all these things wrong. No, it's more about, I want people to know that, hey, I've had to deal with this and go through this and accept it, but I'm also moving forward and finding that I can't wait for something to happen. I'm not agreeing with the things that are happening with Trust Me Buck and how things happen. I fought to take it to a better place. I still wish the best for it, but I personally need to move on for multiple reasons. And that led to another thing. I'm going to read this one. I found one that said, being salty is so last year. Start being marinated. Let them know you've been swimming in a mixture of emotions for a very long time. So that was kind of it for me, that I've been swimming in this mixture of emotions, good and bad, which led to mostly bad, and going, what am I doing? Like, I'm putting myself back in this situation every day. I'm at fault for that. So I can no longer point fingers at anybody else or blame anybody else or play the victim. I got to move on. I got to make the right decisions. I want myself and my family, my wife, and my friends. I want to be, you've talked about this, when you're around your friends, if you're a Debbie Downer, no one wants to hang out with you.
Yeah.
I know those people. It's like, hey, we talk about when you're golf, you don't want to be the Debbie Downer in a golf round that's pissed off because you're playing golf bad and you just ruined someone's chance that hasn't golfed in 6 months. Like,
to have a good day.
This dude ain't on the pro tour. What's he pissed about? We suck at golf. Have fun.
Yeah, you're not
We're out here
paid.
in California.
Yeah. To kind of chime in here, like, because this is all great stuff. Like, from when I'm here, I love this stuff. What I do personally is I try to make my life as easy as possible. I use that lazy mantra. Like, I'm lazy, therefore I try to make things as efficient and fast, and it reflects in work and the systems I set up. Try to set up the easiest way. What's the fastest way to get this done? Because I don't want to be doing this. Same thing with my lifestyle. I try to make my life as easy as possible by not setting myself up doing self-inflicted. And this goes back to the time thing of like, but how do you control that time? What can you control? And not make your life harder, not make it seem like it's so bad. And, setting myself up on the Wednesdays, which is my Monday, and I know there's pressure, and I'm going to be not only walking into the work that I have listed up in the restaurant, I'm going to have my chef tell me something, I'm going to have a cook tell me something, Brandon's going to tell me something's broken, then I'm going to get 8 emails from Jamie and Mark on new things that popped up or they saw when they walked in facility-wise. So all of a sudden, to make it easier for me knowing that, I try to minimize anything else that I have, create more time, leave that time strategically, right? So you have, life is just hard and life is tough to you and there's things you can't control and those are the things you got to deal with. And then you have the self-inflicted, which when we're talking about the time thing with the kids and the owning their own time, I'm like, you're not helping you doing yourself a service if you're shooting yourself in the foot. You're going out and like, oh, I'm so tired, I'm so stressed out today. It's like, yeah, you went out till 2 a.m. last night and partied. Like, set yourself up for success, and then you can be like, okay, life is throwing me some fastballs right straight to the chin music. Not, I created those. I'm the victim, like you're saying. Like, it's exactly what, like, the point of, don't do as much as you can to prevent that, mitigate that, and then it's like, okay, life's hard on top of it.
Well, we talked about, the golf thing right now. Like, I almost felt bad taking the opportunity to golf today on a Monday, because there's this stereotype of what hard work is and what you need to do to justify that you're working hard, especially if you're working for someone else. Again, me having the ability to build and take the path that I've taken, I understand the difference of exactly what you said. When I know to stop being out at night, especially on a weekday, and go home and go to bed. And even if I'm not feeling great because I got after it for an NFL game or something and stayed up a little late and had fun, my choice, guess what? You're still getting up at 5 a.m. and you're grinding, especially, I guess these are the things that I do to motivate myself to do that. I don't allow myself to sleep in past that, so my clock becomes set to that way whether I want to or not. So unfortunately, I wake up the same times on the weekends where I might love to get that extra hour to sleep. My body doesn't allow it. So, it's the gift and the curse when it comes to that. But when you come to the golf thing, sometimes you take that because I go, you know what? That forces me to shut it down last night, get the rest I needed. I do a lot of my work before I go to bed just in my head, and even waking up at 4:30 can't sleep. I'm designing, creating, thinking, doing everything in my head to get ready for, okay, which actually excites me. Like, dude, okay, let's go, 5 o'clock. So I'm hitting the floor running. I'm on the computer. I'm going. I'm notes. I'm designing. I'm doing whatever I got to do because, 10 o'clock is golf. So I want to be able to get in kind of maybe a work day for most people, but also know I got the rest of the day to do that. So when you adjust your days like that, it gives you exactly that ability to go, this is good for me and it's what I need. And in doing it, it makes me so much stronger and as a creative person, more creative, and just get, again, the gym. People go to the gym, people go run and hike, all these different things. So for me, as much as I need to do those things, and those are hard to do because I'm not a big gym guy. I'm not a gym rat.
I'm not don't get along very well.
So for me, the golf and the getting out and that form of exercise, but mental clarity and release and all that's really good. But it's adjusting your time and your schedule. So that's why I was like, no, why can't you go today? Of course you can. And again, I'm so excited about what I'm starting to do and moving forward to being happy and thinking of new things and being inspiring myself and looking at things differently than I have in a long time because they have the ability to do that it allows me now to kind of structure myself and go, okay, if you set aside a window for yourself here, you're working so much harder in and around that to make this happen so you can really enjoy it and do something like this because this is something we want to do this podcast, and we would normally again shoot it on a Monday or Tuesday night. Schedules weren't working, so like shit, like two birds with one stone. Three birds with one stone.
I'm at work. Text me, hey, I'm trying to book golf 9:50 tomorrow. You probably can't go. I said, why can't I go?
Yeah.
I'm going.
Like, hey, I was just used to it. We got Ryan. Ryan. 2024. 24K. 24K.
I'm going to do everything I can. I have a still limited amount of time.
2024 K9.
2024 K9 magic. Yeah, I loved it. I was like, I probably should. You start thinking I probably should, but it's like, why shouldn't I? Instead, I can sit around on a Monday. For me is my Saturday. My wife's working. She's actually sick right now. I hope she's getting better. But the thought process is I can sit around and stress out about work and do the stuff I don't even need to do and watch Mitchell vicariously through Instagram. Freaking get out and golf, or I can come out here and hang out. I'm coming through injury right now. I got an injured tailbone. This guy sitting on a donut.
Hey, I tell you, I'm gonna let him tell a story real quick about just forget the story, but just the story of him telling people at work on Sunday that he hurt his tailbone, and everyone did what I did. As soon as any story, and I landed on my tailbone, you immediately reach back and go, oh God,
everybody,
because you can feel it. I think again, as a motocross, action sports, crazy, jump in the pool, land on the corner coping in front of my brother and my nephew Sean, all tons of stories, but I've felt it in the worst possible way.
Man.
But I think even if you haven't, there's so many things that you're just like, I don't want to feel it because I can feel it without feeling it, and it's just
don't want to feel
miserable.
it again. I haven't hurt my tailbone in like
2
decades.
Hey, typical golfer. He's already making excuses. We're not even to the course.
I'm sitting on a donut right now. I'm getting out here. I'm sitting on a donut real life right now in my car.
Well, so this again, kind of a short episode. We're going to jump in. We're going to talk a little bit why we golf, a little bit after. So we're going to cut and take a break. The last thing I want to leave it with that I love, that is like one of my biggest ones that I've had this for a long time, again, saved in my phone. If you look at people in your circle and don't get inspired, then you don't have a circle, you have a cage.
That's deep. I like that one.
And what I love about that is I think the people that I've surrounded myself with over time, over the years, and in a situation I was just in, again, anybody with your work. If you go to work and you're constantly just, I don't even want to walk in the door and see Karen and frickin' Tim and Joe and my boss is a piece of crap and whatever narrative you have of why you are not happy, understandable. We all have to do things to get to a certain point, but change it, fix it, get out there and do it. Again, easier said than done. I took the entrepreneur road for many years, and my wife wants to kick my ass I don't know how many times for doing that. And she also loves it in the times that it's working and with the potential of what things can happen. So biggest support team. I mean, also one of the people that just is going, dude, what are we doing? You doing this again? Really? Come on. So again, all part of, what we talked about where I got her involved in, hey, in the future, anything I do, or if I'm going down that road again, or job opportunities that I take or anything, I'm going to involve you as a business partner, not just as a life partner, but a business partner as well. Because as we get older and as I, have failures, I want her to support things I'm doing, much like we need to drive each other together, support each other together, because we're going to win together if we do that and build it a little differently than maybe I did in the past. Not that she wasn't supportive, but different approach from the start. So I think that saying of like not being in a cage because you're surrounded by people that maybe don't let your ideas go far enough, or just your ability to do anything. You walk into work, just whether it's saying it to yourself or a coworker, problem, I hate them, I hate this, they won't let us okay, then fix it.
Yeah, fix it. Or don't say anything. I little note on that, I always tell employees, if you go around telling everybody you have a problem with an employee or a system or something, except for the person that can fix your problem, you're the problem. That's what I tell every time. I'm like, see, you just wasted all your time. You're the problem now. It's not the problem to solve.
So again, another one I want to shout out, because we were hitting him up this weekend. We didn't link up. Our boy Larry was going to stop by. I'm kind of glad we didn't catch up for a Padres game as planned, because those would have just it was another horrible weekend of Padres baseball, so that was sad. But still want to link up. That's another one of the boys that's in the circle.
Yeah,
that's a day awesome two guy that has come around and inspired the shit out of me and supported me a million times through the lowest points, which is the most important people. So shout out to him. We'll be back in a little. We're pulling up to Goat Hill. Peace. Talk to you in a bit.
Let's go.
Go T in the house.
Go. Tapping in.
Go.
Tapping in. I'm going in.
That's all we're going to see today from this guy. Birds. Hey, it might be these birds. We're going to see birds.
Might be a couple of those too. Let's get it.
Let's see. Hey, we talk a lot about these guys. Let's check out the full kit here. Let's look at this. Look at this. This is like the match. This is like minus the good golf. All right, we're getting that first taste of. Woo! We're only on hole 2, but boy,
spit you out.
Look around. That hole is way up there on the hill.
That ball's staying in that cage.
You got this little cage right here in the drain. Ryan got you got it in the wrong hole.
Yeah, I got it in the cage.
Oh, your ball's right there. It's grabbable.
It's all good. Someone gets one of my free balls.
Hey.
Oh, snap. We're back.
We're on the back 9 of the podcast. We finished 18 at the golf course. We're not even going to give you an update. No one gives a shit how we did. It was horrible. Goat Hill is still, even though it kicked our ass, dopest place to go.
That course will take your lunch, spit you out, and send you home early.
So it's definitely deflating. But
we're not as sunburned as we were when we left Huntington Beach. It's super weird, but it's super vibey and sunny.
Beautiful day.
Good sunscreen. Got that rocking.
But second half, we've been kind of hitting the serious, like get a little emotional the last couple ones, and that happens again when we've been going through some shit, and we're trying to be excited and motivated. So we'll still hit with those, but let's get into, like we said, not a sports show, but we're all about some sports. We've got playoffs. We just had the draft weekend. So, Ryan, this is more. Ryan takes this department. I'll chime in a couple times with names names like Wembley when the name's Wemby and things like that. And we had a little debate yesterday, so we might circle back on that just a little bit. But Ryan, take it from here. What's happening? What's going on? My team's out, so I'm just going to sit here and listen.
We got a night ahead of us. It's been playing in this rotation, and tonight we got some teams fighting for their lives. We got basically Oklahoma is going to sweep the Pellies, and the Pellies were lucky to get in. Zion, as we've talked about, incredible athlete, but just not having him out, not being able to play, and then trying to go out and survive for their lives. I have a feeling, obviously, 4 and done, Oklahoma, young team. We talked about a bunch of big 5-year-olds on their team just looking like my gut, and mark my words on this one, I think Oklahoma is going to be in the final, the conference final. I think that they're going to be tough to beat out of the West, especially Denver. I think they can match up. Chet can match up. I think they got the ability to have the bigs match up, and Shai Gillis is just a beast, obviously an MVP. Got the Lakers playing late. They're fighting for their lives. They're down 2-1, down 3-1. Yeah, they're fighting for their life to get in.
Been some close ones. They just can't pull them off.
Yeah, I mean, every time at half, I'll be at work and someone's like, "Oh yeah, they're up," and I'm like, "Yeah, we know how this movie ends. We've seen this movie before." But everyone's playing away, fighting, and we get to the Boston Celtics, 2-1 in the series, playing in Miami tonight. That's the first game on. Without Jimmy Butler, we've talked about him being a Celtic killer. this series can go multiple ways. We won by 20. Wound up being down by a bunch. Wound up winning by almost 30 game one. I have a feeling it's going to be another tight one. Miami might pull this one out. You know, you talked about it. You can kind of breeze on how the NBA goes and what you had some insight information on, like kind of the amount of money and everything that they lose when they don't push.
Yeah, there's, I mean, you know, conspiracy theories, but at the same time, I've had some people within, you know, the industry that, you know, work with basketball players and kind of know a little bit about that. We've heard the same theories about we got a hawk with a capture flying over the top of the car.
That's awesome.
But
better than a CHP.
Conspiracy theories of, you know, games being fixed and, you know, them setting things up and getting to the end. I always, as much as I'll buy into those theories and understand that they are looking for certain teams to win to get to game sevens and get to just extend it to any way they can. That doesn't always happen, especially in earlier rounds. It's a little bit more difficult sometimes, but they do lean into that a little bit. You still, you know, Klay Thompson or Steph Curry still have to hit a fadeaway jump shot in the corner at the buzzer and things for those to work, but sometimes, you know, referees and calls and things like that. So every once in a while, it's hard for me in some of these scenarios to look at the fact that, like, man, if it's a, you know, they're going to shut them out 4-0. I don't know if that's going to happen every time. Yes, it does in earlier rounds. They move on as we go. We got TV money. We got stadium money. We got the NBA and everybody trying to catch the NFL and stack that money and figure out how to create entertainment. Like, we always have to remember this is the entertainment industry. Even though it's sports, there's talent. It's not necessarily wrestling, but there are aspects of where they, you know,
want the suspense.
They want a little bit of, like,
draw.
hey, it's going to do a little bit better if Taylor Swift and her boyfriend can make it a little bit further in the ratings. And, you know, again, I'm not saying they're handing anybody anything, but there are elements of that once you know and have a little bit of insights, sometimes make it tricky. You still watch because there's never a guarantee. You don't know what it is. Vegas, money, there's a million things that play into this. That is why you stay and watch, because right when you think you know the answer, you think they know, well, they're not going to let them do this, they're going to give it to them so they can go another game, and then they don't, and you bet money on it and you lose the money, and that's where we're at.
We're at to where the phone is just shutting off because of the sun beating down with the temperature control. So we still got this guy.
I got mine.
Look at us. This is what happens when you're on the road.
Look at this.
That's what happens when you're on the road. Look at us.
Look at this.
Hey, we pivot hard.
Hey, this, you know what? We just had a little camera trouble. We are already back because we had this dog going. We got 3 cameras. I mean, it's amateur hour at its best because we got like 9 cameras coming from every angle.
This wasn't happening when we had that cloud cover paying the premium.
Yeah, when it was raining, look, already I told you as soon as we get a good day, we're gonna bitch about that.
Yeah.
Now our camera's hot and we're crying about it because it messed up Ryan's good side. So now, sorry guys.
Speaking of good sides, I got a little clip I'm sending over to Mitchell. I was taking a little impromptu video last night while we were having some dinner, and Mitchell's basically proclaiming that
Careful here.
Michael Jordan, the second coming, has happened. NBA wise.
Again, so we'll cut to that clip. We'll circle here. We'll use a combination of the two.
Watch this clip.
Well,
I need to record this as some old bullshit right now. We're hanging out here at Frankie's, and Mitchell's talking about Anthony Edwards being like the modern day Michael Jordan. Not LeBron, not Kobe,
they're all trash.
not anybody. Kevin Durant, not Booker, not trash. Yeah.
In comparison to Michael Jordan. Anyway, the point is that right now, Anthony Edwards and where he's at in his career, if you watch him, his body type, his style, how he scores, everything about him and his makeup, and look at Michael Jordan at this time and where Anthony Edwards is in his career, is almost the same person. I'm not comparing Michael Jordan, 6 championships, everything he did.
But you just said almost the same.
We're not
They're
there
almost
yet.
the same person.
Yeah. So
That'd be like
look back to
Superman.
Michael Jordan in the beginning of Michael Jordan before any of you, or maybe even you, knew how good Michael Jordan was going to be.
Before
and then
you.
look at Anthony Edwards and go, that person at that time of their career.
I'll take another one.
That's
Thanks
what
so
I'm
much,
looking
dude.
at.
Appreciate you.
I'm not saying he's going to win 6 championships. He's going to be Michael Jordan. Damn near the same dude. Pay attention. Keep receipts.
Anthony Edwards has nothing to do in even the same room or the same universe as Michael Jordan. Not gonna happen. I don't even think I recorded that, so that's good. Yeah.
One of us is a Bulls fan.
Yeah. He's a Bulls fan. Jason Tatum is 100 times better than Anthony Edwards.
Different. Where are they at in their careers?
They're both young and in their early part of their careers.
So again,
Michael Jordan.
How many players were better than Michael Jordan? How many players were better than Michael Jordan in year 3 of Michael Jordan?
I'm willing to bet you $1,000 that Anthony Edwards doesn't finish his career anywhere close to Michael Jordan.
Here's the best part. Guess what? A bunch of you motherfuckers are gonna go watch Anthony Edwards now, and that's all that matters. All that matters. Welcome to social media. I was making it very clear because there were some people that were not with us listening from the outside and also getting involved and challenging me as well. Fair enough. That's why we have these conversations. My point is, and it's funny because we were watching the final game where Anthony Edwards helped to get really hot and take out KD, who he absolutely loves and looks up to. So I compared it to, again, Jordan. And when Kobe finally got to come into the NBA and get in there and play one-on with him and guard him, it was a shit-talking fest. He used his idol to go, I want to get in here and I want to not just say I'm better than you, but just to show like I can battle with you, I learned from you, and it's exciting for guys like that that are competitors. So anybody that hasn't watched Anthony Edwards, and again, last night he was on display. You've seen the highlights on SportsCenter on Instagram. The guy is a freak. He's crazy. And my point is, obviously, he's got a long way to go and a lot of championships to win. Things that, no, he probably won't ever do. It's really hard to do. LeBron is chasing those things, and he's been around a lot longer than Michael Jordan did. Kobe, all these challenges. So I'm not saying he's that guy, but
the way he plays,
for
you were
me,
saying
and understanding the way he plays and where he's at in his career today, and the comparison, they are so similar in everything about their style, their size, and there's a lot of guys. I mean, a lot of guys trying to copy Michael Jordan, but I think knowing that he's copied him, and if that's just his body makeup and everything about his ability that does that, I think it's a combination of both of those. But if you just watch highlights from last night alone, really going head to head with KD, who is a badass, it's just amazing. So again, you look at when Jordan went against, like, I want to go against the best. I want to go against him one-on-one in a championship, in a game 7, whatever it takes. I want that moment. I want that last shot. And Anthony Edwards, like, he has that in him. You see these dunks over top of him, getting fouled in the face, and fadeaways and steals, and just the guy is just amazing. So I think just that ability, everything he's done to mimic him to this point, he's to me the closest I've ever seen, next to Kobe, who I think is where the only reason we don't give Kobe or put him at the top of GOAT conversations with LeBron and Michael Jordan is not because Kobe wasn't that good. I think he was just a carbon copy of Michael Jordan.
Yeah, his tenacity and like the drive, and the Kobe Bryants and LeBrons, I think there's just a different fierce competitor, natural talent ability. I went down a rabbit hole. I gave you the, oh my gosh, no way. And I knew who, Anthony Edwards is, but I went back and I looked at video again just to get a refresher course, because I'm like, I know who he is. He does play. He's got the same, the dribbles, the quickness, the drive to the basket, his ability to dunk, but he's laughing. Yeah. I love watching him and KD. KD is like, you got me. Like, giggle. It's so good for the sport. It's
he's a competitor. He's not saying he's a competitor, but he loves to, like, again, he can giggle with somebody like KD because that's who he
competitive. So when you see him drawing, he's drawing like you got that pickup game going down like the Valley Community Center here in Escondido, and these guys are jawing coming back court, and KD's laughing, he's laughing. You can tell it's fun. The whole team is like, oh my gosh, these guys are going at it, but they're having a blast. Like it's like me and you. It's like we don't shit talk each other when we go on golf.
Well, that was Kobe and Jordan. It was full respect, but they were both like, I want to beat you today. I want to guard you.
Kill you.
I want to guard you, and I want to beat you today. And I love you like no other. The second that game stops, but I want to kick your ass right now.
Yep.
and that's That's what you want. Yeah, in any sport you want that. Like, I love the respect. But sometimes I think in like baseball is a good comparison, I think, where a lot of these guys now they're so friendly, and the friendships over the years have developed in these leagues, which I understand. There's so much money, and I think with some of that you lose some of that edge as well. So I think that when you can still find those guys that are just like, I'm here to kill in that moment, is amazing. But I think a lot of these guys, the friendships get really deep, and I think really in baseball when there's so much time and these guys kind of just hang out, next thing you know, guy gets on base and they're sitting there, hey buddy, what's up, and just big smiles.
You always see the first baseman talking.
It's
to the
fun,
guy
and some people that are old school are like, F this, like, don't talk to that guy. I would never talk to that guy. Like, you're there to kill him. You're there to take him. You know, so it's a different era, obviously, but I see both sides. So this comparison with an Edwards and a KD is really cool because it has that it has that old school vibe, but it's also, this is the modern day and it's different, but massive respect.
But I love what we're seeing right now. NBA's dope. Let's jump into the NFL real quick. We obviously had the NFL draft this last weekend. Lots of fun things. I want to talk about my team, but I actually want to talk about your team. We made a trade.
We did. How funny is that?
In what world are we living? What universe are we in right now where I'm like looking up, I'm like, wait, that was our pick and the Chargers are taking it. You're like, yeah, we traded.
Well, you might have removed one guy that's been in the draft room for how many years?
Yeah.
That wasn't there this year.
So you guys go and get Ladd McConkey. I mean, I was blown away that we didn't want to try and get that pick. You guys, I'm very, very proud of what the Chargers did in this draft.
Cooper Kupp.
You go and get a generational talent in Joe Alt, who you've shown me some hilarious GIF and video stuff.
This guy
is straight out of the backside of Montana.
He just wants to win. He just wants to kill people.
Wears 3/4 zips all day. Where's his little Skechers soft velvet cowboy boots?
Look up this stat because I don't have it in front of me, but in the ballpark, whatever, look it up if you want to know exactly. I'm going to misquote it, but he's got he's given up something like I know it's right? One sack in somewhere around 742 snaps.
Unbelievable.
Very close to that, with give or take.
Talk about a generational talent. When you go generational talent, like the joke, it struck a chord with me. That's what the Patriots did well. Yeah. You get these linemen that are these Okies, these big Okies, and they are oak trees. They sit there. They love pounding. You got the Jason Kelce's, like the people that just love to pound these guys into the ground, and that's these big ogre bear gorilla, just linemen. And I knew they were going Joe Alt. I had people telling me, no, they're going to go Malik Neighbors. I'm like, they're going Joe Alt. He's generational. You got Harbaugh. He wants to pound the rock. You need a tackle.
Everybody wanted Marvin Harris.
You went and got him.
He went ahead of us. So
then you went and got Ladd McConkey.
Didn't have a chance.
You got Ladd McConkey after that. Like, in a perfect world, when Quentin Johnson could be out there running routes and Ladd's just running like a squirrel, and he's very, very twitchy, very, very quick jerk, gets into space, and now you guys want to run the rock. You guys nailed the draft on those first two picks.
And let's also not forget, I even enjoyed the very last round when we picked up a Brandon Rice. We got 2 wide receivers in the end. Picked him up. You got Jerry Rice's son, so that's exciting just to have Jerry Rice around your team as a person. We know how important it is, just locker room and having guys show up that can give any input. So it's like that's a free little like, hey, we got a guy to come over here and he's going to hang out around the Chargers. And again, the biggest point when you look at these drafts and the difference of, like you said, a trade and things that didn't happen before. Big thing that happened this year was very different for both of our teams. You lost a Bill Belichick, and we brought in a Harbaugh. So the draft of the players we would have drafted before, which is why this is so different, was different because of Harbaugh, because his mentality of what he's going to do, which we know based on what we know from Michigan and what he's done in the past, but also we don't know what the hell he's doing. But he's showing us before he does it. So now we're getting that understanding of like, okay, we would have always picked this. Oh shit, but they did this year. Yeah, because we got a different guy steering the ship this year. And from what we hope, and I think we're seeing it, and I think Harbaugh would have clarified that before, that it's not a Spanos that is controlling how this works.
He's not allowing that to happen.
That
Harbaugh
right there
came in.
Starts in the draft.
Harbaugh's the one making the decisions on this. I love it.
And it starts with the right hand. I'm still sad about losing Keenan Allen, but I get it. I get what we have to do and the reasons that we have to do that. It's a business, and there's a lot of things you got to move, especially with where we're at.
Players like that, you
money,
cut bait on before you think, and you could be wrong. We cut bait on Tom Brady, and we were dead wrong. Cut bait on Gronk. I mean, those are the scenarios. Like, you cut bait on those guys, and you go Mike Williams, who can't stay on the field. You know, he's very 49er-ish. Like, yeah, you're going to get 7 games. But, yeah, they cut bait on a lot of guys. We're going to see what happens. They got a generational quarterback. Hopefully, now having that blindsided tackle that Joe Alt should move into. If you can get anything out of the biggest thing, outliers Quentin Johnson, if you guys can get something out of him, and you guys got a 1-2 punch, Rice comes in, he's learning in that nice little wide receiver room. You guys got a good opportunity.
Now let's just say, so Patriots, you got a new quarterback. That's a big deal. What do you think?
Yeah, guess what? It's gonna be May. So we went Drake May. I've had so much submergence into the draft. I literally went from fantasy football and submerged myself straight into the draft. I watched and listened to First Take, things like that, and like watching the shows of Field Yates and Mel Kiper Jr. and the guys that I really respect, and got to know every single player that I could possibly learn more about than I needed to know. And for us to go Drake May, it fell to us. We had to do it. We are going to be envisioning a new NFL over the next decade, and I'm going to tell you what, the top 6 quarterbacks that got taken out of the first 12 picks, you're going to see these quarterbacks all become starters, and they're all going to play. It's a different league. It's a different NFL. Probably the best draft class of multifaceted quarterbacks that we've seen in the last decade or two. You're looking at players like even Bo Nix going down to pick 12. I mean, Michael Penix Jr. going pick 8 to Atlanta when they already have Kirk Cousins.
Let's talk about that. Everybody's talked about it, but what's your thoughts on that?
Get the best player on the board. Don't deviate from the best player on the board. You could have got a running back. You could have got a wide receiver. There was tons of wide receiver. You had a Malik Neighbors, I believe, still there lingering out that pick. But when you don't go and get the best player on the board for what you want to do, you lose the draft. They see Kirk Cousins as a mid-filler quarterback. He's a bridge quarterback for them, and that's clear. At first, I thought maybe they're going to try and run with him. Now it's clear he's the bridge quarterback. Get a Penix Jr. in there. Tested the highest as far as like arm strength and the ability to throw downfield. And they went after the player that they thought was best. It's confusing to the camp.
I think the confusion is the amount of money. So the amount of money, it's because again, had Kirk Cousins just gotten a Russell Wilson contract with Denver, like he got there for a small amount of money, now with the Steelers, that smaller amount of money where it's like, okay, this is somebody that's experienced. We know what we get. He's a veteran, but he's also got a couple years left in him. Okay, so we still need that generational talent. We need that franchise quarterback still, and like you said, he's on the board. So that's where you don't want to pass that.
That's his draft.
But it's confusing because you paid this guy the most money for a quarterback. He got more money than Brady ever got, and it's just crazy.
Michael Penix Jr. was the 4th quarterback taken this year in this draft, and he's probably better than he would have been a first-round pick in the last 5 years. And maybe a Lawrence. You had quarterbacks come through, but he was a first-round pick again, probably 2nd or 3rd quarterback in any draft. The program he's in is so NFL ready. You got Steve Belichick going out there and coaching there in Washington now. You look at the programs, these big programs, they're NFL ready. He's NFL ready. The talent he had around him was NFL talent. We actually got Jalen Polk, which I was incredibly blown away with our 2nd pick behind Drake May. My favorite pick of the whole draft. We went out, we got a big body receiver, guy that's just firm. He could work on a little bit of in and outs of his cuts, but this guy didn't have a single drop. He went out at 1,200 yards receiving, 9 touchdowns, no drops. That's a guy you want. A guy that's a possession receiver, doesn't fumble the ball, not going to drop the ball. He goes up and gets it. No matter where you put it into space, he goes and gets it. But you go to Michael Penix Jr. and the Bo Nix is going at 12 to the Denver Broncos, and they were desperate and they knew it, and he fell to them as well. 12 picks, 6 quarterbacks, unbelievable draft. And then you get a Spencer Rattler going at 150 to New Orleans. I mean, when you get Spencer Rattler out there, he could be the 3rd best quarterback in this draft out of North Carolina. Or out of NC State. And you get these players where you're like, 199, Tom Brady could have been there. I actually want to talk about McCarthy. It was so known that Minnesota, after they gave up Kirk Cousins, wanted McCarthy.
Right.
And you hear all this hindsight and this hearsay, and you learn in the draft that people leak things intentionally, right? To kind of strategically mind fuck the rest of the teams.
Because they are all.
You knew you wanted J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
I wanted J.J. McCarthy. I'm stoked about Drake May. He's got this big body. He's a 6'4", 235, 232 kind of guy. Long arm. Plays in the cold weather. You're going to be playing in the Northeast. Very Josh Allen-y when it comes to just body style and what he can do. Who did he have around him, last year versus the year before? But long story short, J.J. McCarthy, 9-inch hand, very small hand. This guy meditates, though, was asked to do what he had to do. I'm excited about J.J. McCarthy. He went to the Vikings, so I'm excited. I'm going to watch him with the Vikings and root for him. This guy's going to walk right in. He's going to have to be there with Jordan Addison. He's going to have to be there with Jay Jetta. He's going to have to be there with TJ Hawkinson when he comes back from his injury. He's got talent around him. Coach O'Connell played for the Patriots, played at San Diego State. I'm excited about him probably more than any player taken in the first round to watch him. Malik Neighbors, Joe Alt at left tackle and what he's going to do to bury bodies. It's an incredible draft. It was an incredible draft. I loved watching the tickers going and watching everybody get the picks because we got into second and third round and there's players that are still going out that I was like, oh my gosh, this draft became more than you even knew after I submerged myself on how big it was. So exciting to see. Chargers rebuild a little bit. Patriots deep rebuild. But look out for J.J. McCarthy. I think he's going to be a player to watch. He's probably going to be exciting early on.
Hey, Harbaugh was leaning on him to be a number one over Caleb Williams. I mean, that's how much he was like, pay attention to what's going on.
I believe.
And again, that's another one, Caleb Williams. There's so many things because of him, kind of like, is he a crybaby with Caleb Williams? Who is he? Is he strong enough to be this guy? Again, generational talent. You just don't know how these guys in the NFL, into that moment, that's the exciting part. I think more than ever with the NFL the last few years, the draft and the free agency, how much guys move around, quarterbacks move around. We still haven't gotten to see Aaron Rodgers play for the Jets. To know that was something that we spent our last year, especially with Hard Knocks,
they picked up a bunch of players.
So there's so many different guys, how they move around. Then you jump into the NFL draft and you add in all these pieces, and every time you go into your fantasy football draft and you go into that first 1, 2, 3 games of the year, you're just like, I don't have a clue. Where before, for many years and over time, you get to know, like, well, here we go. It's going to be the Chiefs here, and it's going to be the Patriots here, and it's going to. So you know what you're getting typically. Yeah. Now it's like every year it's shaken up so much that it's like that's the exciting part. Is it's like starting from scratch. You're just sitting there like, shit, I don't know, roll the dice. I don't know how Vegas figures out because Vegas is the one that's got to sit there and be like, shit, okay.
Man, speaking of Vegas too, man, what are you guys doing? You guys don't have a quarterback. You got a Donald, what? I don't know what's going on there. Running back, you guys let go of Josh Jacobs. You guys go and pick up a center, a generational center, a great player.
We'll have to ask our boy Josiah because he was telling me it was the greatest draft in history. Every pick was just like, oh my God, the Chargers. I'm like, the Raiders. Yeah, they're crushing it.
He would call a cold coffee left out for a day the best cup of coffee he ever had in his life. He's Mr. Positivity. We love you, Josiah, Josie Swaneely. Shout out to you. You're going to be shooting some video for us. I'm going to probably petition you.
It's going to be wild.
Overall, man, sports are hot right now. It's juicy. The Bruins and hockey. I'm following hockey a little bit more than the only time I watch it.
Too much Boston for one.
Baseball, the Padres. Oh my gosh, dude. You guys can't. Dodgers can't get out of their own way. You guys could still stink it up enough, get swept, and still be relevant, which I love seeing in baseball early on. We get to the All-Star break, everything changes. We're going to have some fun. But overall, we're going to be picking up my daughter right now. That's how much fun we have here on the podcast. Reese is
send it through the day.
Yeah, Reese is going to be coming in hot into the car.
It was good, eh? So again, we were going to skip a week on the podcast, and you guys might have needed a break. You might have needed a week, but unfortunately, you're not getting it. So hopefully you're tuning in. Follow us, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, Chasing the Cool Podcast, and this is episode.
This is 11. This is 11. We got people